Everybody, welcome to today's tactical tip. Now, I wanted to do something on blood loss, and again, I've got Keegan with me, one of our members who is also ex-military and a paramedic, and I want to talk about something that we try to give everybody an experience with, and this is something that is such a mindset, experience that I want you all to have, and that's dealing with blood loss. And so right now we have a representation of our blood, and this is approximately 2 liters, and what I want you to know is this: we do it for a couple things. One, in most really bad situations, violence, acts of terror, you can expect to take injuries and to lose blood. And if that happens, we can expect, and I want you to know, that you could lose upwards of approximately 2 liters of blood. This is about 2 liters, which is how many milliliters?
2,000.
About 2,000 milliliters of blood. And if you lost this, it is one thing to intellectually understand that, but if you were to see the volume, take 2 liters of this liquid, of blood, cow's blood, whatever you want, and dump that on you and around you, it's quite intimidating. I mean, it can cause you to panic a lot. So let's just go through real quick. Different stages of hemorrhages and injuries. There's stage 1 up to stage
4.
Up to stage 4. Stage 4 being severe, and that's where we could plan. I mean, stage 1 or stage 2, if you don't control the blood flow, if you don't manage blood loss, you can bleed out enough that you can be unconscious or start to affect the organs, correct?
Absolutely.
So the big thing in stage 1, 2, 3, really all of them, I guess, is to get pressure on that wound. Stage 4 traumas, the blood's going to be coming out a lot faster. So how long would it take, let's say a stage 4 hemorrhage, to lose 2 liters?
Well, the stages are actually based on the volume lost, not how fast you get there.
Not how fast you get there. Okay, so that's interesting. So I guess that would depend on the injury in terms of how fast, how much blood volume's coming out of you. So again, what we need to know is, what does it look like, and what can we expect to experience when we see this much blood out? But here's the thing: even if you're losing this much blood, you can still stay cognizant. You can still, protect yourself. You can still function. I mean, you need medical attention. And that's why we did the tip on the tourniquet and stuff, but it's just such an important thing. Some people get cuts, they don't lose a whole lot of volume of blood, but they think it's game over.
Absolutely.
Right? They think it's game over. I mean, how many times have you witnessed at actual trauma incidents, people who weren't that injured in panic, thinking it's worse, and of course then what does that do?
It exasperates the situation.
Exasperates the situation, makes it worse?
Absolutely.
If we panic, what happens to loss of blood? Increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increase. Okay, so let's take a look at what this looks like, everybody. 2 liters, let's say stage 4, and we're just going to hit it somewhere down here, and we just start pouring. Now, if you look at this already, I don't know how dramatic that's coming across on the camera, but me feeling that saturation on my body, feeling the warm, it's heated, so it feels like my blood would. And look at the puddle all around me, but look how soaked my leg is. I'm starting to panic, and I haven't even begun to dent the 2 liters. Best guess, how much volume have I lost right now?
Maybe 250?
Maybe 250 out of 2,000. Nothing. But then you take hits, you get damaged. And now all of a sudden you start to increase. This is a puddle. What that feels like soaked my leg. The hot, warm liquid down my leg, and now the puddle starts, you start to panic. You start to think you're injured, maybe worse than what you are. All over your hands, your arm, trying to stop that. Now all of a sudden we're at about the 2 liters. And again, what this feels like, to be holding your own body and feel that warm fluid leaking out of your body, be standing in a puddle of it, running down your leg, in your socks, your shoes, down your clothing. It starts to, even in this scenario, it changes your mindset. And this is what our experience needs to be. To know that I could have lost this much volume of blood. I'm not in great shape, but if you can regulate and control the sympathetic reaction, you can regulate through your breathing, slow down heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory, then you can still be in this situation. You can still defend. You can still protect others. You can be in a position where you can get pressure on that wound, where you can get that tourniquet on, where you can do things that will help save your life and the life of others. You can still be a life-saving force. It's quite the experience. Now, with this, one thing I wanted Keegan to definitely talk about is, that's, like we said, roughly 2 liters, which is 2,000 milliliters, right? But if we're talking about a child, this is very different. And Keegan, I want you to talk about that real quick.
So blood loss and circulating volume is based on size, your mass. So Greg here, he's probably got a good 6 liters in him. Someone like his daughter, which you've seen earlier, a lot smaller. You're dealing with maybe 3.5, 4 liters. So if she loses this volume of blood, it's a lot worse than if Greg loses this amount.
Yes. So when we're putting out some numbers, guys, remember, this isn't really about the numbers. You know, this gives everybody a representation of it, but it's the mindset. We've done this in scenarios where you start working with knife drills and you start working with different scenarios. And when you put this into play, when you have somebody in a scenario and you splash on him 2 liters of simulated blood, that changes it. They feel that hot liquid hit their body, their back, their leg, and all of a sudden, I mean, the grip you have on your own weapon or picking something up to defend yourself, or the ability to grab and apply your tourniquet, it changes. It changed, especially when the lighting condition, everything changed. So we wanted everybody to see this, to have an idea, to get your mind ready to be able to absorb damage and still drive on. Just because you're bleeding, just because there's blood loss, doesn't mean it's the end for you. Change the mindset, learn to drive on, and make sure that you're still in the fight. You can still be a life-saving force, yours as well as other people's, and keep pushing forward. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this experience. Thanks again, Keegan, for your expertise and knowledge. And until next time, everybody, again, always, as always, stay safe.